How to complete the Proof of Identity Address History module in your MyVIT account while completing your annual registration tasks. You'll see the Proof of Identity Address History module on your screen if you're due to complete a nationally coordinated criminal history check. All teachers are required to undertake this check every 5 years. To complete this section, click the blue Update button. You'll see this screen with instructions. As in this example, you might see an address already listed. Even if this is the correct address where you're currently living, more information is needed. You need to complete your address history for the last 5 years, including start dates and end dates. If this has been your only address for the past 5 years, you'll need to add the start date. If it's your current address, you won't need to complete the end date. If you've lived at other addresses in the past 5 years, you'll need to add those addresses with start dates and end dates as well. For the purpose of this example, we'll show you how to complete this process. Let's start with the current address. Click the drop-down arrow to the right and select Edit. To indicate this is your current address, select Current. Then click Next. You now have the option to update any of these address details if you need to. Here you need to enter the start date, that is, the date when you first lived at this address, in the section marked From. Choose the date and click Next. We can now see the start date has been added to the address. We now need to add the previous addresses. Click Add Address. Because it's not where you are currently living, choose Previous and click Next. You need to enter the address in the box marked Find Address. You'll notice that when you start to enter details, a series of possible addresses automatically appears. You can simply choose the correct address. If the address you want does not appear automatically, click the box marked Can't Find Your Address and enter your address details manually. You now need to enter the From date, when you commenced living at this address, and the To date, which was your last day at this address. Remember, the last day at your previous address must be the same as the first day of your next address. This is important. There must be no gaps between any of your dates. Choose the From date. For this example, we're going to assume this is your only other address in the last 5 years. So the From date will be 5 years ago. Even if you lived there more than 5 years ago, the National Police Checking Service only requires the past 5 years of address history to process your nationally coordinated criminal history check. So as long as the date is equal to or more than 5 years from today's date, that will cover it. So let's choose 5 years ago. Now enter the To date. Again, this must be exactly the same date as the first day at your next address. Then click Next. Now we can see a full 5 years of address history listed here, including the 2 addresses you've lived in during the 5 years, with no gap between the end date of your previous address and the start date of your current address. We don't have an end date for 628 Bourke Street because it's the current address. Click Continue. Now on the Annual Registration Tasks page, the Proof of Identity Address History module has changed from blue Update to green Review. This means you don't need to do anything further with this module unless you want to review and/or change the information it contains. You're ready to proceed with your other tasks.